So first of all, understand my project folder first. So the purpose of this lab exercise here, so actually by right I'm using the sponsor animal, but now I'm using sponsor animal with address here. So I wanted to cover for you the sponsor animals is the front end and back end will be using the okay. So this sponsor animal we have the front end which using the HTML, CSS and JavaScript. Okay, but another DM application in a Google Classroom over there, you still got another one called car using Marketplace. So the front end is using CSS, HTML and the graph. Okay, the folder is there. So today we are focused on sponsor animal, how's the file is look like. So previously the objective for today actually able to list the change to make to the base code for the sponsor animal.so to link to the user interface and integrate your user interface front end to the sponsor animal, smart contract and also the back end. So we have the user interface HTML. Now you can see that last week I'm using the server script. I said server.js, so it depends on your server script, what is the file name that you wanted to have it. Besides that, I also have the one, so under the server script, I will have the handle adopt from here, and then I'm using the web3 linking back to my sponsor animal on the back end. So I will have the function adopt and get adopted. So you can see my function is very simple one. So now you're looking at after you unzip my sponsor animal, you should understand how I'm going to keep my file. Okay? So this one, the build folder, you saw that you have a build folder inside. The build folder is the artifact generated by the compile when you compile your source contract. So you have a contract folder, like last week you learned that, we have a contract folder which we are going to put all the contract, okay? All the contract inside the this contract folder. So my migration.so and also your contract folder will be here. So if you can see that over this side, under your folder there, if you go back to your locations here, okay, go back to your desktop over there, look back on your sponsor animal. So you will able to see the sponsor animal, this folder. So this one is a build because I already run it. That's why the build folder, the ABI, the artifact already generate from the migrations and also my sponsor animal. This is what we have. So now looking at this one, look for the another one called contract. So last week I already told you the migration.so, you cannot change anything. Okay, this is your code. This is my code under sponsor animal. So now I'm going to open this sponsor animal and let you have a look. What is the backend code, the contract backend code that we have? Okay. So now, what is the purpose on here? I go and enlarge a bit over here. So now, before moving on first, let you see the diagram over here. This is the sponsor animals or sponsor or adoption of the animal from Zoo Negara. As you can see, our Malaysia Zoo Negara, the fun. So if you compare, if you have went to Singapore before, you know that not only the Singapore, actually Malaysia, they also the animal can be adopted by certain company. Okay, so like if let's say the animal, let's say that is a tiger. Let's say the tiger is adopted by the company ABC company. So the ABC company logo actually is put onto the sideboard over there. So it means that the expenses, okay, the expenses, the fitting or the food, all these things will be sponsored by this particular company. This is what the Zoo Negara done in this Singapore also. in Malaysia, I also saw that not all the animal has been sponsored by the company. Usually, it's a company go and adopt that animal, then he will give money to the zoo and go and whatever expenses for that animals will be paid by the company. So that is adoption. So that's why I wanted to change that particular adoption method to become a public method. So it means that not only the companies can go and adopt the animal from the zoo negara, actually the rest of us as a public, public user also can do adoption. So my purpose on this zoo negara over here, that is only got 8 animals. Okay, only got 8 animals over here. I fixed the animal. What are the animals that can be adopted by the zoo? And then you can see the layout from here. And then actually from this one, actually got the price and the who already adopt. So my business rule, the business rule from here is, over here is only a 4 animals, but actually it's a 8 animals there. The intention from here is 1 animal is only can adopt by 1 address, 1 VOA address. Okay, 1 animal only can be adopted by 1 address. And then the price of these animals here, okay, already fixed, right? Okay, so this is the part over there. So that's why this is the reason that I have a business rule. I will have this. So I'm changing my Prima Solidity to run on the latest versions of Solidity. And because, as I said, I only got over here, my sponsor, my contract call sponsor animal. And the purpose over here, I only got 8 animals. And then each animal is only can be adopted by 1 person. So that's why I will need to create an address for the array. Okay? So the fixed one, because I know that I only got 8 address can be recorded, okay, as an adopter. Okay, adopter is the address for each of the animal. So as you can see my sequence over here, based on the sequence here, I will have the array, it means that I will have the data to store this animal. Okay, animal index 1, animal index 2, animal index 0, animal index 1, animal index 2, and so on. Okay, so I'm working with the basic array from here. As you can see that I don't make mapping line. Okay, I want to have my backend very simple. So then I will have the name and the public address table, public owner. So this is the address. So who is the address from here? So the address over here is referred to the Zoo Negara account because the money will be paid to the Zoo Negara. So that's why over here I will have the contract name from this is a Zoo Negara, and the owner of this contract will be the address for the Zoo Negara. So assuming Zoo Negara also have this particular EOA account. Okay, he's asking, this is the program that created by him. So from here, I only have, if you can see very simple over here, I only got 2 functions. I don't make it complicated. Okay, I only got 2 functions. One is function adopt. Adopt, it means that you go and adopt that animal, so you need to passing in the animal ID. Okay, so the animal ID is referred to the index number. We are using index number to refer to the animal ID because I got 8 animals only. So then I have an animal fee. How much you need to pay? So because this particular adoption actually is referred to the function table. Let's say Ali wanted to adopt a tiger. So in this case, Ali need to transfer the money, okay, the fee, and also the animal ID inside this adoption. So when it's over here, I'm also checking with the animal ID whether the animal ID within 0 to 7 or not. Because I got 7 animals, so the index start from 0. So when I got the adoption, you can see that I'm using the adopter array under the index that given for the animal. I'm storing the address from here. Okay, I'm storing the address from here. Then after that, I'm going to checking whether the MSG dot value send the value that he's sending in is same as the animal fee or not. So mean that when the person transfer the money, okay, I'm transferring 100. Okay, so I'm transferring not 100, I'm transferring 10 either. So your MSG value over there, you send in 10 either, but I need to compare what is the fee that you need to have in this particular your animal fee. As you can see, under the animal fee over here, I make it simple. I don't store the animal fee. I don't have a structure. Okay. So actually, the animal fees from here actually is passing from the front end. Okay. Under your front end setting instead of your back end. So this is the one part that I wanted to bring you there. So then the owner dot transfer MSG dot value. Then you're going to return the animal ID. So you return back to the animal ID over here. Actually, you wanted to display that particular animal already adopted. So that's the last one, the last function over here. Actually, you are going to get a doctor. Means that you're just going to have a view function. It means that you return all the address of the adopter, this particular address of this adopter back to the front end. You let the front end to display, have a looping to display the address in the front end interface there. Okay, so this is only a two functions, very simple. Okay, so involve the addressing from that. So the intentions over here is, as you can see, I got a button called adopt. Okay, this is a button adopt. So when somebody click on this button, it means that the person wanted to adopt this tiger. Okay, this is not tiger, this is a lion. Okay, you want to adopt this lion. So that's you click adopt already when this animal already adopted by the person. So this particular adopt function will change to another name, become the success. Okay, as you can see over here, they will change the name as success or name that already adopted, and the button cannot click anymore. Okay, the button cannot click anymore. Okay, so the 8 animals will be here. Okay, now have a looking at this part, we continue. So after you understand my sponsor animals, okay, the behind, okay, what is the purpose for that? Then we have the migration. So last week I'm telling you, we also using the migration. Okay, under the migrations we have these two files. These two files are very important. Okay, so then we're looking at the deployment. So initial migration we don't need to touch on it. So we need to go for the deploy contract over here. So you can have a look at this particular function, this particular file. Okay, so under the initial migration.js, I do not change anything, exactly same as what you learned on last week. So then we come to the deploy contract. As you can see, the deploy contract over here, you saw that I will changing the file name. So I wanted to have a deploy contract over here. Remember, this one is for this one is you wanted to deploy, migrate your source file into your local blockchain for the transfer. So that's why you need to tell me what is the sponsor, what is the source file name that you wanted to be deployed. So that's why over here sponsor animal.source. So this one must be the same as what you have it in your file. Okay, your sponsor animal.source, same file name. Okay, so this is a variable. You want to have an animals, so you put animals up to you, then you deploy your animals. Okay, so this is a part. So the next thing that we are moving on. So next thing, if you're looking at the file structure again from here, give me a minute. So from this part, we're moving on here. So after you know that you have a migration, then you have a node modules. This one is because you are downloaded the little server. Okay, because I already downloaded it, so that's why you have the node module there. So then we have the SCR, that is the web asset. Okay, the web asset over here, I got the index HTML. Okay, so after that I have a subfolder called JS. My server script is here. My server script is here. Then I got CSS. Let's say you have the external CSS, you keep inside this folder. So font and also an image. So just now you saw I got the 8 elements. So all the elements I keep inside this folder called image folder there. Okay. So as you can see over here, build contract migration, then test and truffle.js, truffle config.js. This one you already know. So because we are created a image, we using truffle image, definitely they have the folder called test folder. Okay. We also have the truffle config. Last week I already told you where to edit your truffle config. Okay. So from this part. So under the source SCR, this is a source, refer to the website. So this source folder, we have a subfolder over here. So I put my this home page over here. So the server script I put under the subfolder called JS, JavaScript folder under this apps.js over here. So now this is the structure from there. So now before I'm moving on to look at how we link it back, let you have a look how the front end look like. So now as you can see over this side, we're moving on. Before I go to the front end, so this is the back end, you know that. So the test folder here, actually I don't have anything. You can see that under my test folder here, okay, after the migration, you can see that this one because I downloaded the Node.js. So then this one source here, this is the file that I said I will need it for the front end. So all the front end I keep inside here. This is a test folder. Inside the test folder is empty because we are not focusing on writing our test script. So now I'm going to looking at this truffle.js. Let you have a look where I'm going to import my contract. So looking at the truffle config over here, you saw this part. So I'm using 7545. So as you know, 7545 will be referred to the Ganesh. Okay? So last week you did understand truffle. If you're using truffle as your local blockchain, okay, as your local blockchain, your RPC, you're using 9545. And over here, I'm using the Ganesh. Okay, so as a local blockchain, your RPC is 7545. So today I wanted to tell you, I'm deployed using truffle, but local blockchain I wanted to using GUI. Give me the GUI. I have a better looking at the contract instead of the holding. Okay, instead of just a command prompt. Okay, so this is the part. So 7545 over this side. So it means that I need to open my Ganesh. My dear, go and open your Ganesh. Okay. So after open your Ganesh, last 2 weeks I asked you to using quick start. Last 2 weeks, because last 2 weeks you are using remix. Okay? Your project folder, your back end project file is part under the remix over there. Get me now? So you are using that to link. You're using Ganesh as the account over there only, but the source code is from the remix. But today we wanted to use truffle with the Ganesh. So in this case, we are not using quick start. We are using this workspace. We wanted to tell you truffle and Ganesh how to work it together. So that's why you click on this workspace here. So you need to link it back to your project folder. Wait, so you need to give the workspace name first. So that's why over here we put it as this part called, let's say give this one is a Malaysia school, zoo, for example. So this is the workspace. So later on we can able to use back our program again. We go and add our project. So here got this button called add project from here. So where we need to link it back to just now truffle config.js. So that's why we need to go back to our desktop, look back our sponsor animal, okay, point back to this file. Okay. So we wanted our garnish refer to this config, truffle config, this one. Okay, whatever, this is a project, truffle project. Okay. So that's why we open. Okay, so the linking and so on. So to make it as a truffle project, then we go and save our workspace. Then we save our workspace from here. So yes, you have the addresses over here. Don't worry. As usual, we are going to need to import our account back to our MetaMask. Okay, we need to do so lah. Later on, later on. We continue first, later on, don't close this, you just minimize it, don't close it, because as we know, we need this account to do deployment, okay, do migrations. So now, after done this, you know the back end already, then we move back to the front end a bit. So now I'm coming back to the folder over here. First of all, okay, so over here, CSS, you have using, I'm using this bootstrap, okay? So min.css to design. So as you can see over here, I've got a lot of animals over here. This is what I mentioned. My subfolder, image folder, all the animal file is here. Okay? So this is the one that we have lah. So the 8 animals is here. So then over after this, I'm looking at the index.html. So looking at this, because I'm using the bootstrap over here, so I don't define, I only define the template. I don't hard code my animals inside there, because later on I will ask the server script to add in the animals and the contents of the animal inside the template one by one. So that's why over here I will have this particular bootstrap link back to the stylus for this style sheet from that, okay, to design. So then you can see first one I got this called container. So this container is called, the container over here is a row. Why I need to have it? If you based on just now the diagram here, you can see that we wanted to have why we put it as a bootstrap, we don't hard code over that is because our monitor screen can be very large or some of the monitor screen is very small. Okay, user can adjust the window size. So I want to make it more flexible to ensure that no matter based on your window size, so the animal will be in larger or smaller, the row will be adjusting. Okay, the row will be adjusting. And you can see my design of this template is like a one box by one box, all are the same, like a consistent like that. So from here you will able to see that this is a row. So I'm defining the row, how many row over here. So now, based on here, I got the row animal ID from this part. So this is one that we go and put in the animal group here. Animal will be here. So after that, after the animal added in, I will go and edit the content. Okay, I will have the contents over here. You can see that I've given the class name. I'm using the class instead of ID. Okay, because now this is not an input text, but it's more on each of the animal. You have the animal ID, you have an animal name, you have the price, you have the age. Okay, so even though here I put it as 3, and then you have an animal fee, over here is either, then the animal location, and the temporary here I put it as a location, and then I have a button. You over this side, I purposely go and make it as a dog. Okay, so over here, this particular button, I will have the ID call. Okay, the button here ID is 0, but I have a name called buttons. So then after that, I also have another CSS over here, another line, which I'm going to define the sponsor address. The class name is the sponsor address. So I'm using the class name over here, or different row with a different content, because I'm using PR. Actually, it's a content. After one content, I go for the next line to display the animal name, and then go for the next line to display the age, animal age, and so on. So no matter how each of these space here, I'm given a class name. I'm using the class name. So over here, this is just a space telling you what we need to put it inside this space over here. So this one entire is a div. So now you can see that I'm going to have this truffle. This one is the script link back to your web3.means.js. So this one is go and link back to your server script. This is a part. Okay. So as you can see over here, so the whole thing is this is the bootstrap.means over there. So the last part over the script, I want this particular, when you display this, you will link it back, so that you need to link it back to your server script. Okay? Your server script, you need to have a web3.mean.js. Previously I told you we need to have a web3. So we also need to have our truffle contract.js over here. Now having to look at this part, we're moving back to our file. We look at our animals. We look at our apps.js. Okay? So this is the web3.means already have it. It's not right by you, it's downloaded, it's linking one. Okay, the web3.means.js. So then the truffle.js, this is how you are generated out. Okay, this is also not your site. Okay, to create up. So that's means. So this is a web3. This is a server script. This is the one that you need to edit. Okay. So at the server script, what I need to do here is, as you can see that the first part, I created the object. Okay, the global object application is a global object to point back to this entire server file. Okay, the global object. So initially, I'm going to make my web3 provider is empty. I don't have any contract yet. Okay, initially, my web3 provider do not link to anywhere. My contract also empty. So now you can see over this side the init. This is the starting point. I'm going to call this init function to load the file. This is what we mentioned. Why we need to have this particular this particular file over this side. Okay, they will execute from here. Okay, we need to call the function to execute this. Okay, so from here you will able to see that we have the get JSON file. Okay, I got the animal.json file. This is a JSON file which will be defining the animals. So I will go and display the data using my animal template. Okay, the animal template over here actually is from, okay, I'm using the animal template.file. So where is the animal template? This is where I'm pointing back to my function. So my animal.json file is from here. This is your animal.json file, this one. You can see this is the JSON file. This one you also need to edit. What is the data that you have it inside your program? So if later on you say that I got 8 animals, that's why from the index 0 until the index 7 I got 7 animals over there. So I got 8 animals there. So if you say that you have more animals, you can add inside this particular animal.json. So he referring to this animal.json session over here to display your content inside your web page. So you can see over here, after you retrieve from this point, after you refer to the get JSON file, you put all the content inside this data. Okay? You put content in this data. Then you're using this dollar sign. What does mean the dollar sign here? You are wanting to refer to the class ID. So just now I mentioned under your index.html over here, I have this particular class ID called animal row. Okay? The ID called animal row and also the animal template. Okay? I need to ask the server go and refer to this HTML file to look for these two ID. Okay? From these two ID, I will go and root the image, animal image. After that, I will fill up the data from here. So that's why we say that you have an animal template from this part. So we go back to look at your code again from your apps.js. So that's why you can see that I'm using this dollar sign refer to my home page from this ID. Okay, this ID pointing by using animal row, and this animal template is putting in this animal template. So I'm using these two variables inside my server script over here and do looping. So your data, this data is referred to the data that you are retrieved from your animal.json, that will be the data is 8. So the length is data.length is totally, you have an 8 animals there based on that. So then you're going to display the content. So that template animal template.find, find the class name. This is the class name dot text. So you wanted to put in your data, display the data over this side. After you've done the display already, you append. Remember, you put in only. After that, you append the whole thing again. So you append this whole thing at one time. So here you look for 8 times to display your data. So after you have done a display of your data, because you need to make your web page flexible, so that's why you display the data using the server script. Okay? So you're assuming that the animal.json, like your database, are not a database, the contents are in your page. So we don't have a database here. So after this, we're going to run the initial web tree. After you have a contents inside your HTML page already, then we're moving on to using a web tree to link it to the account. We need to have a web tree. So that's why we're going to run this function. This is a function name that I'm called init web tree. So init web tree here, I'm using Windows Ethereum. So I'm using Windows Ethereum. This one you saw on the last 2 weeks, we're also using Windows Ethereum. We created this Ethereum, put inside this object called Windows over here. So we wanted to have a app, so app.web3 provider. So now I'm defining the contents over here. Okay, my web3 provider. So which web3 provider that I'm going to use? You can be either using Windows Ethereum. This is a modern of browser that can support Windows Ethereum. Some of the old browser, legacy browser, they may not able to support Windows Ethereum. They may need to use the Windows.web3. So no matter it's a Windows Ethereum or Windows Web3, actually you are created a Web3 provider link. Okay, you need this Web3 provider link to link it back to your contract. So this one is link it to your local first. As you can see, I'm defining my HTTP provider 7545. From the front end, I also need to have the MetaMask. I need to say that this particular DX is linked it into my local blockchain. So under 7545 over that. So my MetaMask can do linking. This is a part for it. So after that, the web3 can link it to the MetaMask. To allow to link it to the MetaMask, we need to have it. So then the next one is we go to using the web3 to link it back to our backend code, which will be init contract. So we go and call for our init contract. So over here, same thing. From this side, we come to this one. What we're going to do? We are referring to the sponsor animal.json. This one is the animal. This is the content. Animal.json is the animal content. Sponsor animal over here is your artifact. Your artifact already generated when you compile your backend code. So you wanted to get the JSON file, the content inside this sponsor animal.json. All the data are kept inside this variable called data tag. So this particular data will be put inside a variable called adoption artifact. So under the adoption artifact over here, you need to look for the contract address. So that's why you're using this command. This is a new thing you learn. So transfer contract adoption artifact. This particular command over here. I'm using this object called appx.contract.adoption. So whatever I wanted to call the functions, I will using this one. We can see that over here I don't hard code. I do not hard code my contract address and also the ABI inside my HTML file. I'm using the server script to link it back to the backend code using this particular object library, the instantiate, okay, instantiate an object from here. So transfer contract over this keyword to link it back, so he can able to retrieve your address, your contract address by using this transfer contract, okay, transfer contract. So you have the app contractor adoption. So this is the name that I've given. So up to you. So then I'm going to set app contractor adoption tag set provider. This one I'm going to set the provider just now. Your provider app.web provider. This is what you have it. You created a web provider from here. Okay. This one app stack provider. This is your thing that you set it. You set that from the local, from your MetaMask local blockchain, link it to your backend code using link it to this contract adoption. Set your provider. You allow the contract to talk to your MetaMask using this app web3 provider from here. After you've done this whole thing, only then you can start to do adopt. So you can go and display the adopted message. This is a function call. You can see I'm using the app. I'm calling the function called mark adopted. So the mark adopted is the backend from here. I'm going to display the content. As you can see, I'm here using app contract adoption deployed. Over here, I wanted to display the content using the looping, and all the functions here is success button. Okay, and if the address is not equal to 0 address, this is a 0 address, empty address, it means that somebody already adopt the animal. So that's why the button should be a success. Okay, if the address is not equal to 0, so the button will be remain as a adopt this particular function then. So we will go and do looping to display the address over there. So the next one is here will be how to do adoption over here. I will have a data to pass it in. So I wanted to have this function. This one is handle the adoption, and this is the event function. So you can see this is the event, adopt function event. So when I pass it in the ID, I will go and mix our to change our error, show the data again from this part. So as you can see here, I have the one called function, okay, app called bind event. So that's why over here I will have the handle adoptions already. So then I will have a bind the event and go and pass it. So as you can have running. So you remember server script, you go and read all your code first. At the end, we execute according to here. So app.init, you are start to call this init function. So from the init function, he will go and call. From the init function, he will call the init web tree. After init web tree, he will call for your init contract. After the init contract, he will call your mark adopted function. After the mark adopted function, he will go and call for your event function. By event function. So he will come to the event functions over here. So this is the entire of the back end. So this is a front end script. So I talked so much already. So what I need to do here is you need to have time if you go and use this template, or if you are go and create a server script. If you have an experience, you can do so. If you don't have, this is just an idea for you. Hopefully you can work with your assignment. So now what I need to do here is you go and copy this mnemonic, this particular address. You copy this one first. Why I need to copy it? Because you need to go and add it inside your MetaMask. You need to import your account. You need to import your existing wallet. Using existing wallet, import it inside your MetaMask. Place it inside there. So any address, any password, because this is only a testing only. So got it. Next, got it. So I will go and close this one. So this address 9387 is the same address that you have it 9387 same. Don't close it. So what you need to do here is now we are moving on. Remember now this is your mainnet. This is your mainnet. That's why here is a 0 either. So we need to go and add in to add our network. This one I also cover for you. So we need to add in our network, which we will go for this particular add a network. We need to add our Ganesh network. So we go and have the network manually over here. Add the network manually. So over here you put it as a Ganesh local net. So our RPC, last 2 weeks I told you, the RPC will be this number, because now you are using this one for it. So if you don't understand for the server script, so you need to write a simple one for your front end. So then the change ID is 1337. This one already fixed one. No matter you using Trafalgar or Ganesh account, local blockchain change ID is 1337. So then you have the either from here, this part, you're going to save it. So you're going to create this network. So that's why you can see that you will also have this account. Make it much simple because I wanted to show you the connection. So that's why usually this is the first account that is an index number 0. So I wanted to make the account name, let's say this is a Sunagara. Definitely the index 0 will be the one who use it to do deployment of your contract. So later on this account will be the one who have retrieved the money. Sunagara. So same thing, because we are do linking already, we can go and just add the account. So when I add another account, this is Ali. Let's say this is Ali, the user account. So this will be the city. Okay, for example, I got a 2 account for the EOA account from the a doctor lah, those who come to do adoptions lah. So that is a 3 account there. So your MetaMask, assuming your MetaMask already have it, so now what you need to do over this side, okay? So you already understand my intention of this project over this. So let me come. So just now you can see that I already explained, I already told you. So what are the RPC that you need to use? The Web3 injection just now I did mention already for you. So that this is how the note. I don't ask you to copy and paste anymore because the file is there already. Okay. So then I also explaining to you for English contract over there. So we go and compile one more time. So now we go. So we're going to have this command line CMD. Let me change the color from it. Let me change the font first. Okay, then let me change the color. Then let you have a look, have a better view. Give me a minute, So you need to go back to this particular folders. You need to point back to your folders. So that's why I will come to over this side. You go and point back to your folder. So you need to navigate to your folder. So I'm copying the path. I copy the path. Then I will come to a CD. I change the path over there. Okay. So first of all, what you need to do is you need to go and have truffle compound. So you don't need to do truffle initial. Michelle, why you don't need to do truffle init? Because that is already have the folder. All my file already put inside the folders already. You don't need to create an empty directory folder again. So that's why I directly go and have a truffle compound. Whatever last week the truffle init, I already told you why we need to have a migration.so, why we need to have the migration folder and so on. So over here actually I'm going to have a running for my migration. Okay? So running for the migration.so, compile the migration.so and also compile for the sponsor animal.so. So after done this, the next step, if you go and refer back, if you go and recall back what you learned on last week, under your last week slide over here, I told you, okay, after you truffle init, so we don't need to truffle init already because we already have all the folder, all the necessary file already in there. So now, just now we issue the truffle compile, okay? So now the next one is the truffle develop. So we also no need to call for truffle develop because truffle develop is the one that generates the test account for you by using the truffle test account. But today we are not using truffle test account. We are using the EOA this account. We are using EOA account from the Gannett. We are not using the EOA account from the truffle. So that's why we are not using this. So then we can come to the truffle migrate already. Okay, as the same thing, we are not doing truffle test, we don't have a test script. So we need to do truffle migrate because you need to migrate your source file back to the truffle, your backend code over there. Okay, so that's why over here you need to have a truffle. You need to have a truffle migrate from this part. So after truffle migrate, you saw that, okay? Wait, still running, He migrate to where? Okay, Hold my migration technique, replacing of migration, error from this migration has been very awkward. Okay, while deploying, so verify. Hold on, sir. Let me see my software migrate what is the problem not. The image migration cannot work. Okay. So now I go and transfer migrate flash drive reset again. Anyone's your site can work? Got the same error? Is it got same error? Same error. My migrations are in, I need to troubleshoot my migration got solved. It means that my package is not. That's why I don't like to have transfer. Give me a minute, Let me see what I have done. My migration got solved. You can see the migration can be deported from my contract. Under deported contract already. My transactions also have it. Let me see. Don't worry, this is the migration. Error failed to deploy. Replacing migration folder. Let me see my migration. Have a look. What is the point over there? My migration. Initial migration. Let me see. Initial migration. Okay. Let me check back. Okay. Give me a minute. I wanted to create the empty folders first. I want to see what is my migration file problem. It seems like my migration file is a problem. So I'm testing. So I'm going to have this one. Go to my CD. I change my directory first. So I'm going to have a transfer migrate. Transfer image. This is the why we said open source code is much more complicated. Let me have a look what is the thing that is different. Testing, migration, under my subfolder. things look like it's already deployed. Some kind of profile names. See first. Deployed migration. Because I thought should be no problem. Last time still can able to work. Okay, so in transfer, migrate, just reset. Still apply now. So if those you need a break, you can go for the break first, go to have a break, toilet break, then I will come back. We'll find out what is the problem of that first, Give me a minute, Let me look at my migration. Migration is for verified code or requiring time. Okay. So user data domain npm. It's not because of the code, it's because of the system block. I remember last time I have this kind of problem, So open source, Misha also doing like that. I also need to go and search. I also need to look for the solution. Okay. So look at how to solve it now. Like time very your own laptop. Proper note server migration.soft. Set config. Okay, I need to check my contract. My contract.soft this file. Open. With the file that I downloaded just now, it's a migration. Not your code, it's a system, the one. Okay, not our backend code. Open. Not soliciting my contract center. Just public first control. Modify request owner. Within the Prama version to solve. I'm trying to solve this version. My NPF, okay, let me check my Prama version. My migration. Where I need to come here is, you go back to your file, look at your truffle config, the version here. Okay, you specify to a 0.8.30 under your truffle config. Okay, under the truffle config. Okay, previously I define it as this one. I'm using this one I'm using this symbol 0.8.0. I give this, so I don't want, you need to change it to become 0.8.13. Okay, so this is a part. So I myself, I also need to go and check, okay, when encounter the error. I have no different from you. Okay, so the version that we need to downgrade it. Okay, so from that part, so let us have a look at what is the original. While I'm having all these rooming npm nodes module over here, look at my migration. We're using 0.8.21. Okay, so it means that your 0.8.21 that must be have something changed, which my program did not comply with this latest version. Okay, so my version is only can up to 0.8.30. So that's why over here under your solidity, under your solidity documentation, solidity documentations over here. You need to go and check for your documentation. If you want, this is the latest version. 0.8.21 is the latest version. Okay, so something have been changed, but I did not go through yet. And you can see over this side, I click on the smaller over here. Over this side, you can see that they have other versions. I refresh it. So this is a version. You can see 0.8.21. Something changed already, but I did not. My file does not update according to him. So that's why I have a problem from there. And you can see, you can go for looking for the others documents. We only keep it this small thing on it because the design, actually the documentation not good. Cannot see the latest one. You can see at the top, still at the top over here. Okay? So if I enlarge, you cannot see. This one is the latest version. If you go and smaller, this one is the latest version. This one. Okay, they will using the latest version. This one I cannot work. Okay? Cannot drag, you can see this one you cannot drag, from this part. Okay, so this is a part. So now we're moving on. I'm so sorry that just now got an error. So let me write it down. Now later on I forgot. Okay, compile using saw 0.8.30. Okay. So because of this part. So now we're moving on to continue. Already deployed, as you can see just now, already deployed your contract, and you can see your Gannett over here. Your contract actually already deployed. Okay, your transactions over here have created the transaction, and your block it has been added in already, and this is your account. This is the first account that you have been using. So now you can see your account over here. This account also deducted the money already from the Sunagara. So the next one that you need to moving on will be you go and using front end. Okay, so I'm running from the front end already. So in this case, what is the command code to run this program? I'm using a little light server. I'm using the light server over here. So that's why under the expression right over here, I'm going to issue the command. I'm using the command called npm. Okay, you need to have this one, npm run it. Okay, so from here you say that, hey, make sure you don't display your port numbers. Last two weeks you told me a port number from 5,000 change to 2,000 can be changed one. No need, they will call me up for you. They will automatically using for that. Okay, get what I mean? So I just need to come over here because I'm using the light server. I'm running on my light server over here. Okay, I install. So let me show how to install the light server. You using the same thing, using npm install your Node light server over there. That's why you will download your Node module for your light server. Okay, so from there, so from here you can see that I'm running from this one. They are listening, they're displaying, still working. My light server from the front end is running. Your local server called light server over here. This is light server. From here you will able to see that home already. You need to connect your MetaMask. I want to connect all the account over here to this MetaMask at one time. It's much more easy for me to do checking. Okay, instead of later on I need to check one because this is a testing. So I assume all these account I'm using this browser. Okay, I connect all this account into this DM. Okay, so at one time it's much more easy for me to do testing. So the light server over here, the port number is fixed already. You can see just now my DM over here, my application here, I no need to go and define where is my light server, what is the port number. Here I'm more focusing on the function call and process and linking. Okay, so from here you saw that this is the adjustment. You can see that, oh, this is what I put it in the bootstrap. Okay, from this one. Okay, using the bootstrap to assign to change my window. So my window size is different. My this image alignment content also will be different. Okay, bootstrapped from that. Okay, so this is more on the front end design. So now as you can see, now I'm going to enlarge a bit. Let's say over here. So this is the Sue Nagara account over there. So as you can see, I don't check by what I should check. Sue Nagara cannot the one who go and click adoption. Okay, Sue Nagara is the owner. Owner cannot adopt the animal. But inside the backend code, okay, I don't focus on the backend code to control. Okay, if you look at my just now my animal.saw over here, I did not check whether when we do adoptions, I did not check, I don't have the modifier here. The reason is today I'm not focusing on modifier, checking who is the owner, only can be executed. The intention over here is wanted to tell you the entire project file structure. So that's why over here I'm going to click on, let's say I wanted to adopt this orangutan. Okay, I click on the adoption here. So the fee is 5 Ether. So that's why this 5 Ether will be passing. Okay, so remember I need to change my account first. I'm going to change my account from Sue Nagara to become Ali. So assuming Ali wanted to adopt the animal, from this orangutan. So that's why from the account of the Ali here, I'm using the account of Ali. Ali, assuming Ali already logged into this, already display on this DX, and he wanted to adopt from this orangutan. The price from this orangutan for the fee is 5 Ether. So once he adopt already, so click on the adopt function and you can see the Ali account will be transferred 5 Ether to the account from the Sue Nagara. So that's why I will confirm the transaction, and then as you can see immediately this particular function will be having this success already, and this one will be a address. The address of the Ali will be displayed over here. This is what I mentioned. Already adopt. Who adopted this? Address has been given from here. So the money from, if you go to see your Sue Nagara account, so you will see that the Sue Nagara account here have 104 because money already transferred to the Sue Nagara. So this is the intention from this project. This is what I wanted to show you. Okay, so if you select any child, so how to stop from this light server? You just need to have a control C. Okay, you use the control C, you stop. Okay, you stop, yes. Okay, after done this, the admin child, I done my front end design. So assuming you stop your this design already, you stop it. Okay, you stop from executing your light server, then you go back to your front end, change here, change there, you do anything from your front end instead of your back end. Your back end don't change anything So if your back end you don't change anything, you do not need to do any transfer migrate. You don't need to do any transfer migrate dash reset anymore. You don't need to migrate your DX again. You just change your front end interface only. So the front end interface is linked with your light server. It's linked with your light server. Okay? Your back end is the one that you need to have a transfer migrate. If you you update your source code, your solidity code, then you go and change your solidity code. Then you need to go and using transfer migrate again. So at this moment, let's say you change anything, I go to have a run and you using not MPP, you use npm run dig again. So when you use npm run dig again, your back end code, this particular orangutan still having the same data. The data still the same, already adopted, okay? Unless you do migration again. So then you have a new set of state variable. Okay, you are reset all your state variable again. Okay, so this is the part. Any other question from here? Anyone got question from this part? I know a bit, so that's a bit confused for you. So many front end design. Okay. You need to try because you have a 5 students in one group for your assignment. Each of you contribute the idea how you want your system to look like. So from the front end, from this exercise here, from this sample demo here is only for this 1 page. Okay. So actually we still got another one. I don't want to give you so many until you will confuse which how so many design there and what we are going to have it and how can I go and achieve complete for my assignment. You can use this simple DX sponsor animal as your file structure, your project folder, and put in your necessary thing and edit from there. So another one from here, this one is using the wrap. The server script is using the wrap. Okay, it's much more easy if you understand what's the wrap language. Okay, the wrap language server side will be much more easy to refer to the content. But you didn't learn it. You didn't learn the wrap language. I deploy it. I expand for you. Also, it serves the purpose. So from here, I just wanted to tell you, when you run this program, I will able to add my product. So I can add my product and also the product price. So last time I showed you that I buy one product that is a child house. Okay? But this one you can list out all the product, different product inside this table. So those who already bought the product, the price, the owner address will be here. Okay, so this is a part, so you can run. So if you wanted to run this particular program, maybe I run for you. Okay, it give you the have a look but I don't go and explain for the detail Let me go and copy from my share folder. I got or not? I think I don't have the marketplace over here. I don't give the marketplace. So your marketplace actually is here. Your file is here. Your marketplace. Okay, this marketplace, let me download. So after download, let me go back to my share folder. Go back to the download folder. I cut the file and place it on my desktop. This is the second file. I'm going to extract the file, okay, for marketplace over this side. So I also need to test it for that. So the notes module is the React.js. That's why you need to download the notes according to the plugins, the library, the API. Give a minute. While waiting from here, because I'm changing my project file. I wanted to use back this account again, but I want to switch my project from the animal to become a marketplace. So in this case, what I need to do here is I need to go and make sure my Ganesh is pointing back to the correct folder. So that's why I'm going to edit. Okay? So I don't remove the project. I just change my, I go and reset my project, okay, reset but account, I'm using the same account, so that's why I will go and this one, change this one, then here I will go and make it as car market. So the idea from here is because Facebook also got car market over there, so that is the part that I wanted to have the car market. Okay, so I link back to my truffle config over here this side. So the back end actually same one, I save and restart again. Safety config, I change again. So then the address is still 9387. So I don't need to plug in my address. I don't need to import my address inside the MetaMask again. I just need to change my linking. The linking for my Ganesh, link it to the back end for my project code. Actually now is car marketplace. So after I done this, so I need to come back to my car marketplace from this one. I need to go back to the this particular folder. Okay, this particular path name. So I'm going to command prompt here. This one I need to go and stop it already. This animal, sponsor animal, I'm stop it already. So I'm changing the path, go back to here. So same thing, what you need to do. So I need to have a tracker compound. Check my code one more time. I look at what is the farm. Okay. So the compiler I'm using a very old compiler 0.5.16. So let me go and run it first. So then I have a truffle. Don't need to have a truffle deploy. Okay, we just have a truffle migrate. See the migration got any problem or not? Okay, so the truffle migration look like no problem. Okay, it's work. Okay, it's work. So after I done this one already, the next one is I'm calling for the front end server already. So the front end server is npm run. This one called start because of the front end server is a rack, using rack language. Okay. So just now you're using these animals over here. Your light server is using npm run this particular command. So another one from here, this one is for rack one. Right over here, I'm using npm run start. Okay, you see that which one can we use run dip or not? You can see that I'm using npm run dip. Cannot run because they don't understand the dip script. Okay, so here already mentioned you're using npm run because of the file for that. Okay, because it's using a rack, so that's why you have an npm. You must have an npm run start. So you can see that this is what we saw. Hold on, that take time. This one will take longer time. You can see over this side. This one, right script start. Because of the rack. Okay? Because just now I doing this is what is going to create your account, your local host. So npm run start. So then you were able to see here you have your marketplace from this part. Okay? So now you can see that they have a displaying the part over there. So the soon Nagara is rejected already. So my account still the same thing. So now let's say I'm going to city one. My front end still the same thing. I don't need to create my local already because this is a local link back to my Ganesh already. I'm using back the same account as I said. Now I change to the city. Let's say city. This is the account 1AB6 based on your that. So you can see that city wanted to add the product. Let's say he wanted to sell the BMW car, for example. So the price is 2 either. So she entered this product. So the product will be added in. So city need to pay for the gas fee for confirm. So that you can see that the product price will be given over that side already. Okay, so I need to be refresh it because I do not use the event handle correctly. Okay, the event handle correctly. So that's why I added this one. Okay, let's say city also go and add another product. Let's say this is a house, for example, like house, Starbucks house. So let's say the price is 35 either. Okay, so I straightforward enter the price here is an either price. Okay, and I don't want to enter 0, 0, 0, 0, so many 0 for that. So that's why over here I will confirm. So city going to, okay, so you can see after confirm the transaction did not reflect it because I do not using event handle properly. Okay, so that's why I need to refresh it. Only you see the thing. So in here, who is AB? AB is a city market. This one is address 34. Just now I didn't change the address. 9384. 9384 is the this one 9384 is the first address. Is my this one 93 is the Sunagara address. Sorry, just now I added using the Sunagara address. So now anyhow, now I'm going to buy the product. Let's say city go and buy his own product. Can work or not? Okay, I press the button now. This is the city account. Currently, this is the city account. I enlarge it. Currently, this is the city account. City go to buy his own account. She is a buyer. She is the seller, and now he press buyer. He press buy function. So that's why there is a reject. Okay, because my back-end code I have checking the buyer cannot be the same as the seller. Okay, because you are the one who sell the product, you sell the house, how can you be the buyer? So I have this particular reject functions over there. So the confirm here cannot be executed. I only can be reject. Get what I mean? So that's why I rewrote again. So that's why let's say city go and buy BMW. This is the Sunagara address. So city go and buy BMW. So what he bought, okay? So city will transfer the money to the Sunagara. So this is a two either based on your price that you set it in. So from here you will able to see that I need to refresh it because I don't have the event handle on my back end. So that's why you can see after bought it, this address is become a city already. No more Sunagara, and the button is already disabled because the button will be disappear because this BMW car already bought by somebody, bought by the city already. No one can re-buy again. If city wanted to sell this BMW car again, she need to add in the product in. She's the one who need to add the product in. If she wanted to sell the BMW car again to somebody. Okay, so that's why this is a contract marketplace, and you can see my source file under my migrations, under the source over here, I put it under the contract. Okay, so from here you can see the contract folder is much more simple. Okay, because I'm defining 0.5, that's why this is the part that I'm going to have it, and you can see that I only got mapping. I'm using the unit, then map to the product, so I have a structure. Okay, so the event questions, event over here. So actually I don't call for the event. Actually I don't call. Okay, so this is the part. Okay, so you can go and have a look. Back-end code is not complicated. Whatever you have learned. Okay, I don't add any extra things already. So we still got 15 minutes for that. Before I go, before let you go, let's us come from this. So based on your assignment, as you know that your assignment need to go and do presentation. So let's you have a look at your assignment questions over here.